I bought a flooded VW engine just to stash on the shelf, but now it might become the heartbeat of our 356. The chassis is painted and ready for assembly, but can we really bring this flat 4 back to life and have a rolling chassis by the end of this one? This could potentially be the 356 motor, I'm not really sure. This is an ugly stepchild motor that we got from good old Type 4 Jeff that is quite actually a mystery motor. You said it ran at one point or another, but didn't run great. So we're gonna crack it open, see what the internals look like, see if any of it's actually usable, and if it is, we'll slap some new bearings in it, possibly make it run right, and then figure out what we're doing on the top end of everything, whether we're doing carbs, EFI, what you have, I don't know. But first we gotta tear it down to see what's in it, so we gotta get wrenching. Don't mind that. Minor detail. These are the same box covers I used to have on the Speedle. I don't think I'm the most qualified person to explain to you how you should build your engine, but stick around and you might learn something about our hodgepodge ways. This long block has seen some things, one of which a literal flood, like full of water kind of flood. Jeff was looking to get rid of some core motors he collected over the years, and this one was calling my name. I didn't have much knowledge on the motor other than these few things. The case was cut 20 over, which is stamped on the top of the motor. The front crank opening on the case was cut for a sand seal, which is a literal seal that they put in the case, and had dual valve springs. Some of these characteristics kind of led us to believe that this thing was probably built for some type of Baja or off-road-esque car.
Those are 94s.
Oh, they are.
And they look brand spanking new.
They do. There's my nut. Where'd this motor come from again?
This was that trade-in.
No, I know, but like, did he buy it? Didn't he buy this? Like, intentionally buy this? Dude, I don't think this has been run very long.
He picked it up with the Baja with intentions of putting the thing together, and they took the motor out to do something, and that's just where it ended up being taken out. Yeah, so what you do is just go over here. You like that? The goal here is to use everything that we can from this motor, and this tip Jeff showed me is pretty sweet. We score a fin with a file on the jugs for what number they are in the firing order. For instance, 1 will have 1 score mark on, 2 will have 2 score marks on, and that way you basically don't ever get these mixed up when they get cleaned or cut, unlike marking them with Sharpies or a paint pen. Seeing that the jugs and pistons almost look brand new, it's kind of a huge win for us. The more we dig into it, the more excited we get. And now we just have to repeat that whole teardown again on the other side. If you're newer here, you may not know Jeff. He's an integral part to the HHWheels A-team. I met Jeff by accident when I was in desperate need of some main bearings for the Speedle motor, and he quickly became a friend and a mentor. Now, my dad is my dad, but Jeff is kind of like another dad to me. When we hang out, I get to learn so much from him. He's helped us out with numerous VW projects that we've turned a wrench on, and somehow he's still here for all of our shenanigans.
Post teardown, we learned a ton about this motor. We had the 94mm pistons, a stock 69mm crank that was balanced and made into an 8 dowel, a rock crawler cam that really only liked 4,000 plus RPM, stock heads with modified springs, and the wrong compression ratio to boot. So by the looks of it, this motor would have never run right the way it was built. This entire configuration brought us to a 1915cc engine, which, might I add, is an absolutely awesome engine size for I think anyone with a VW needing a little bit of pep. With all the info that we gathered, we decided to keep it the exact same displacement but change a few things to make it better. Over the course of a few months after this, Jeff and I gathered parts. I got the cylinders trimmed down to fit our new cam's compression ratio. We of course had to get new bearings, but we needed to test everything before we got it sent off to be coated. If you're wanting to build a VW engine, I highly encourage you to do all the prep work and fitment before final assembly. This will just help ensure that all of your bearings are right, your gears fit correctly, and will just expedite the whole process later. Now that we've taken all of those necessary steps, we are ready to glue it all together. To run this engine, we need some power, and I decided let's just go ahead and get one of our anti-gravity batteries out. This will be the battery that we are running in the 356, so why not test it out now? These are awesome. As you guys know, we love them. They are super light. They have a built-in jump start, and they are some pretty powerful batteries, I gotta say. Ta-da! And it's like so light. You can't beat this. Like it almost feels unreal that you can just, no effort. So let's fire this motor up and pray to God it doesn't blow up.
So everything looks fairly professional in the front so far. You come around to the fire hazard that's going on back here.
Some more alligator clamps. Let's roll through the tube.
So we got 3, at least one more set.
This is the problem.
This part always makes me so nervous. There's literally a 50-50 chance that it blows up. Sure, you can always do everything right, do all the prep work, but I really don't like to get myself excited until I know it runs strong. Let's fire this thing up for the first time, and hopefully not the last. Now that's a gratifying feeling, knowing that your freshly built, ugly stepchild motor runs great. We gave it a good 15 to 20 minute break-in period at 2500 RPMs, and voila, our long block is finished. If you're interested in the engine specs, brake and oil, battery, etc., all of that will be in the description below for our current and future VDEB friends. Let's hear this kitten purr just a little bit longer. And just like that, we have a motor. Thanks to Movie Magic, it was only about 12 minutes for you, but around a month or so for us. And honestly, that's a pretty good turnaround time for a motor like this. Getting this motor built is such a huge piece to the 356 puzzle. It feels so nice to not only have all those parts off the tables, but to just have the long block checked off our list. But we do still have a little bit more to do before we move ahead. We are challenging ourselves and doing something we've never done on a Volkswagen engine before: electronic fuel injection. Alex is changing out our spark plugs from the NGK DR6 EAs to the DR8 EAs because they're designed to run with the HEI distributor like the one that comes in the Ace's EFI kit. EFI versus carburetor will probably be a lifelong debate, but there are 2 reasons why I chose it. One being I had this kit with the intentions of using it on the Thing and obviously never did, and 2 being there isn't a ton of room for dual carbs in the engine bay of the 356, and since this was center mounted, we just decided, screw it, let's see how this goes. So we're getting ready to fire the engine with the Aces kit, and it's quite the setup. So obviously we don't have the car to put this in at the moment, so we want to run it out of it, obviously. So welded the O2 bung on, you got this octopus of wires, everything's hooked up how it should be. Come around, I didn't want to cut the new fuel tank until we know this works, so we have a 5-gallon bucket with the pump.
She didn't want to buy wires, so she used the ones off the Corvette. She didn't know what color she wanted.
Hey, we don't have the right wires. Yes, we were running Corvette.
She didn't know what colored wires she wanted. So
These are
used Corvette. Stupid.
These are AC Delco wires, but it will work. I think James will love that.
Just don't grab them.
Yummy.
Who knew they sold Celsius by the gallon?
That's that sensor that we do not have.
FPS.
You sure that's good?
Yeah, that's more than
I was gonna say, I don't think we're gonna.
The fuel, I only have like 3 inches of the fuel pump in there.
Okay, well,
That's
it's gonna be fragrant in here.
No Smarkies.
Let's see if we can make this thing fire up.
All right,
Right
ground
in
water.
the hold.
Give it a whirl. Ready, sir? Yep. Look at our can. Huh?
Let's get fuel. Whoa, okay, back in. Get fuel. Timing's still off because it could just be the wires. Could be throwing the spark all over. Could be. Not full body, sure.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to rip the EFI off and slap some carbs on at any point during all of this. It's probably due to my lack of patience and not the kit. I really cannot take a single ounce of credit on getting this motor to run well with the EFI. That was all Alex and Jeff's doing, but they did it. I let them conquer that battle while I move forward on something else like the chassis or the body. Thanks to them, we have a solid EFI set up with most of the kinks worked out. Now that all that is done, the motor is built, we can move forward on building up this chassis. Well, it's another day here in the Real Caroline / HHWheels / Type 4 Revolution shop. Today we're working on engine stuff, chassis stuff, and the body is still currently outside curing thanks to a little bit of clean armor. Today's a big progress day. Alex is out running for parts, so yeah, I'm excited. I think we're gonna make some serious progress this week because that is gonna get painted, that's gonna get mostly put together, and this is gonna be very happy because of all of that. So we gotta get wrenching though. So let's get wrenching. What you working on, Jeff? What you working on?
Got what he wants.
What, Princess?
Princess wants to see how you press in ball joints versus the Mopar, which you screw them in. How screwed did you get on that last Mopar?
So Savage Jeff has returned. Yeah.
They don't press in, bro. They screw in.
If you don't remember the Rot Runner video.
Up here or up here somewhere.
Again, I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't do that. This is a screw out ball joint.
Anyways, we're getting ready to press some EMPI ball joints into these EMPI trailing arms, which I freshly powder coated, and might I say, they do look pretty nice. In the EMPI 2-inch narrowed beam, yes, which it looks amazing. So everything is coming together today. How's it feel? We're finally making some progress. Dead silence because he's like, we're not making any progress yet. Shut up. Progress? What is that? Got all the EMPI goods, our rotors, calipers, torsion leaves, all the fun things that we need to not only put this beam together, but also put back half on the chassis as well. Ready to build a beam, Jeffy? I got an EMPI 2-inch narrowed beam that I painted, pinstriped, and flaked. I just kind of felt like we're going so custom, why not add some pizzazz? EMPI has been a huge support of this build so far, and thank you to EMPI for helping me out. This has really genuinely made most of my 356 dreams come true so far. I will have the entire EMPI parts list below, plus the links that you can find your local EMPI dealer nearest you. EMPI drop spindles, EMPI torsion arms, ball joints, all of the above. And then that fully clean armored beam. Look at that thing. I think your idea to go super snazzy with it was good, Jeff. It's another day working on the 356, which means it's another day with Jeffro. We're gonna finish this chassis today, you think, right? For the most part? Yeah, but I'm excited to see this thing become a roller because, well, it needs to be a roller, first of all. And second of all, now that we're getting even closer with the body, we need to obviously have this sucker done so we can mate it all together. But I'm excited. It's nice finally having parts coming off of all of the tables and onto where they belong. So we gotta run a tap through those frame horns, put the rear brakes on, dust some things with some powder coat, grease some things, and we'll be ready to rock and roll with this thing. Since we're doing a 2-inch drop, there are quite a few components that have to change from a stock configuration. We have the 2.5-inch drop spindles in the front, plus the calipers to accompany it. We also have to install drop spring plates in the rear. Those are a bit tricky, and unfortunately the plates that I ordered from Vintage V-Dubs just really aren't great quality and required a lot of modifications. But we had a small hiccup before we even got to installing the passenger side plate. Spring plate drama. How's that going for you, Jeff?
Sticky situation.
Yeah, things are not going as planned completely. So this bad boy is stuck. Like, stuck. Like, hard persuasion, not getting it out. So maybe we put a little bit of heat on that one. This one came out no effort, huh?
Yeah, bars look like new.
Wow. Well.
No Ocean's 11 on this one. Thank goodness. I was expecting the ocean to fall out of it.
Yeah. While Jeff's over there doing that, I'm making some modifications. We have something in the ultrasonic cleaner, making some mods to our pedals. And painting our pedals. Now, as cool as the FIBERSTEEL gray was, and it was really nice, it was powder coated, I just feel like the gray wouldn't have fit right, so we went ahead and cleaned these really good, took everything apart that needed to be taken apart, plugged and obviously taped off what needed to be taped off, and they're black. And I think with the red carpet, they're just gonna go so much better and not stick out as much. And I'll do the same thing. I might even powder coat just because it'll be touched probably more by your hands. The handbrake lever, because these are sweet. These pedals are an awesome upgrade. They certainly look the part, but the only thing that was wrong about them was the color. And I did actually want to add a hook and bushing, which I'll show later once we get the pedals put back together. Making progress. I feel like I'm losing my mind a little, but I'm glad that progress is being made in both shops and both on the body and on the chassis right now. So feeling good, feeling very productive, feeling a little insane, but feeling good. We managed to get the spring plate unstuck from the torsion and get them both installed. If you plan to use a drop spring plate, I have linked an alternative below that will be a much better choice for your time and your money. Now we have to hook up those trailing arms, and we're getting one step closer to getting this baby done.
Daisy, oh, the fuck.
That's perfect.
Guys give you flowers. My guys give me car parts and hardware. Actually, I gotta say, the first bag Jeff gave me has lasted and saved my butt quite a few times. This is the newest edition, and let's hope it saves our behind in finding the correct hardware. What? You were like, I just don't want this. Is that why you put this in here?
That's a hood pin thing.
I know it is. Good golly. I've never seen anything quite like that. Look at this nut. There's no meat on it. So we're going to flare the brake line for the Speedster because we had to shorten it because we just used like a stock length 73 Beetle brake line, which is sufficient. But Jeff did the lovely slave work of building it or bending it into place. Now we're going to flare it with the Eastwood brake line flare tool, and we have practiced a few times. Needless to say, a few times. I think we got the hang of it, so we're going to continue to watch the video again, follow everything step by step, and get a double flare so we can put this thing in the car right now.
Give it a little flair.
A little flair, a little pizzazz. So you want to do the honors? Since I did all the other ones? Did you watch me enough, or do you need help?
Place one die in the machine with the beveled end towards the rotating die head.
Die.
Place the tubing in the die with the end sticking out slightly. Place the other die on top. Rotate the clamp over the dies and insert the pin to hold it in place. Lightly tighten clamp until it places slight pressure on the dies. Do not tighten at this time. Select Operation 0. Turn the rotating die head.
You already did 0. You already did it.
0 is facing the
You
tubing.
flush?
Pull the handle until tubing is flush against the dies. Tighten the clamp firmly to hold the dies and tubing in place. Select Operation 1 for 3/16 tubing.
Don't forget your
Turn the rotating head.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Operation 1 is facing the tubing. Pull
All right.
the handle.
Hulk it.
Make sure to pull it all the way.
all the way.
Select Operation 2 for 3/16-inch tubing. Turn the rotating head until Operation 2 is facing the tubing.
Your finger looks gorgeous.
Pull the handle. Make sure to pull it all the way. dies and tubing.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, snap.
It's that easy to make a perfect double flare every time.
Okay. Well, now we can go install it in the car. Let's go. Love how this thing has turned into a workbench, too.
You coated it.
Coated it real good. That Raptor liner, holding up nicely. Looky there.
You're gonna have to position it a little bit.
There you go. It's looking good. Like it should.
Come up short.
Ouch.
This is probably gonna take a little bit of
Persuasion.
manipulation.
Well, the good thing is we have clamps to really set this thing into place. Okay, now that we have the calipers and the rotors on, I can't help but check out the FIBERSTEEL drum skins and, of course, the new mobile wagon wheels. Guilty, I have opened one of these already, but I'm excited to see what they look like. This is my first set of mobile wagons, so I've always wanted a set. The time has finally come. Look how beautiful these little interceptors are. These are the, what, 15? This is the 15 5.5 interceptors, polished. And you can buy them from your local EMPI dealer. And, man, they look cool. So, I want to see how they look with the drum skin. I don't have the studs ordered yet. Nope, not long enough. Well, I tried. I'm gonna have to order studs, but man, that's a good look right there. So cool. Super light, and they fit around this whole caliper rotor deal very nicely with beautiful clearance, and yeah, it can look like a drum even though it doesn't stop like a drum. Holy guacamole, Batman. Look at those. Where that chassis sits and then where the wheel sits. And then once it has some weight on it. I like this.
Oh, I don't mind it. It's just
Little Ocean's 11 still.
Just a little. It'll be okay. Or it won't, and we'll have to put a different transaxle in it.
freeway flyer.
See, the good thing is if we drive this thing without the body on it, we can just...
Pull it in.
Exactly. James really wants to drive it without the body on it.
Okay.
Which I'm like, that's not a big deal.
We're almost there.
Almost. Try to fight this, baby. Ready?
Good thing you put that mount on there.
Right.
Lefty loosey.
That one's not. Yeah. I feel like Royal Purple has had a bad rap like its whole life. What caused you to make the shift?
The
Royal
shift.
Purple.
That's some good pun. Shift and shift.
Exactly. You like what I'm doing there?
I like the GL4.
Why?
Because they've pretty much taken GL4 out of all the transmission fluids these days. So this one says good for GL5 or GL4 gear oil.
All right.
Because you want your synchros to survive.
Well, didn't old Valvoline used to have it?
Yep, but no longer.
Dang.
They changed the formula. So if you have synchros, you will have synchros no longer if you continue to use it.
The chassis is even better than I thought. Seeing the brakes, the trailing arms, the transaxle, and the whole 9 yards in it, it's just a wonderful feeling. These moments make those endless lists of parts to order, pieces forgotten, 9 million trips to the parts store so freaking worth it. But we do still have a few more things to do with the shifter setup, which has proven to be not the most favorite task that we've completed yet. Something that I just recently discovered in doing this 356 build is that since everything's shorter, everything has to be shorter, like the shift rod. And I gotta say, something I'm very, very impressed by. I don't know why I have such an affinity with it, but it's this little brand new end for your shift rod. And it comes from EMPI. It comes like this. And it's cool because it's adjustable, so you can adjust it to the length you need. And it just makes everything so much easier. It takes the guesswork out of it. It doesn't mean you gotta hack the old end off and shorten your rod and then weld it back on. Like, this is super easy, super simple. I love everything about this. It just makes life so much easier. And in this process, like, it just all needs to be as simple and as easy as it can be. Like, literally just hack the end and look at that. It's perfect. Originally they had this guy on there, and like, that's not gonna work. There's no bushing there. It's just gonna wear away like it did on this side. Cut that off because it needed to be shortened anyways, and boom. I shortened it a bit, and all I have to do is drill some holes on here really quick so I can tack it together, and then that's it. And this is all adjustable, and then when you're ready to lock it down, it's like putting 2 nuts together like that, and boom. It's not going anywhere.
Driveway maintenance.
So the only issue we're running into is the fact that not only do we have to shorten these e-brake cables, but when they hacked all this up, they hacked it up, right?
Literally.
And it's all bent up in there. So Jeff is working his Jeffro patience and magic to hopefully unbend that so that we can feed these through and get an accurate length so we can cut them.
Shorten it like the rest of the car.
I appreciate your level of struggle. I appreciate you, Jeff.
I'm always laying down on the job.
Laying down on the job. My favorite piece de resistance. So I got this really cool vintage Indy Volkswagen Hearse shifter. How cool is this thing? I was really conflicted on what to get, and Jeff gave me so much crap about getting a vintage Speed, even though he has no good replacement, so why not replace it with some hot rod parts instead? This is actually really cool. The fact that it came in the box is definitely falling apart, but it has the handle. I'm not going to keep the T-handle, but the actual base of the shifter is pretty rad. Yeah, I think it's cool. And then I'll get the right shifter handle, but for now, let's test it and see if it works with our setup. Dude, it even has the shift pattern sticker.
For the dash.
For the dash. It's not going to go on, but you get the point. Just one of those guys where he like hoots and hollers about how much you really like something, and then next thing you know, when you're building something, like, oh, I'm getting that part, and you're just like, they're not cool anymore. Jeff sets, follows, and evicts himself from all of his own trims. Isn't that right, Hefe?
Always evolving. That'll cause you some problem. It doesn't look like the ball's bottoming out in the rod and pushing it down, so.
This is where things get a bit hairy. The problem is that the chassis was shortened 11 inches behind the shifter. Now, that's not necessarily wrong, but the way VW set it all up was pretty well balanced before. But when you cut and hack away and shorten things, sometimes shortening other things to accommodate it all doesn't always work out. So we had to fiddle fart with it for a bit, clearing some things, and just come back to it later with some fresh eyes to hopefully have a better perspective on the whole situation.
Hot rod. Chrome T-handle hearse. White walls with center lines. You building a 70s car, muscle car?
It's It's a very good blend of both. I can see it. Can you see it?
That shouldn't do well. I cannot see it. It hurt your hands for a while.
Grab some gears.
Yeah, I see you grab some gears.
Being this low. Now that we have our FIBERSTEEL pedals built back up, hooked to the clutch cable, and installed, it's time for our Dynamat. You guys already know that we rant and rave about Dynamat. We just love their products. They are our go-to choice to any sound deadening or vibration preventing products. Now slow your roll, this is not an ad. I'm just telling you how we genuinely feel about them. We have used a range of their other products in our cars in the past, everything from their pre-cut sound deadening kits to their extreme line, and now their super light. The 356 isn't really needing any weight reduction, but I didn't want to add a lot of bulk to the car either. The super light I'm using here is thin and super flexible, so I'm not really hiding my cool pans, but it's also 30% lighter than their standard op. All of the Dynamat products are so dang easy to install. I'm just cutting these sheets to my desired size, placing them, and making sure they're installed properly with my rollers. In the pesky little corners, I really like to work slowly and with a heat gun. It just kind of helps soften up that material a bit and get everything laid nice and evenly. Once it's all how I like it, I hit it all lightly with some heat, and boom, we are sound deadened. And listen to the darn difference. The proof is in the pudding here. Hardware, sir. It's the other way. The other way, yeah. Oh yeah. Man, it's really weird being under a Volkswagen chassis with no body on it. But this pans look awesome from underneath. We had a few more things to button up, and I think after a few long weeks and some serious elbow grease, we made something pretty badass happen here. I just look at this chassis and I am just in utter disbelief. Not because I didn't think it was gonna happen, but just because it's so much better than I had envisioned. The floor pans, the Raptor liner, all the brake components going onto it, the EMPI beam. I am so incredibly thankful to be here. I am thankful that I've had some amazing companies and friends help. Jeff has really made this process better. You know, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I could turn a wrench here more, blah, 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 but at the same time, we're a team, and we're working together as a team, and when my dad's not here, or he has to work on something else like the body, it's just It's so awesome to have him around. I feel so blessed, and we're getting one step closer to putting the body on, which I know is going to be phenomenal. And I cannot wait for you guys to see what that looks like, because we have put so much time and effort into that one, and I gotta say, that video is going to be epic. So thank you for watching along with the 356 series. We have a lot more fun things to come. Make sure you get out there and get wrenching with your friends, because it can lead to cool stuff like this. I'm gonna go home tonight and probably not sleep out of excitement. But thanks for watching, guys.